Chapter 1, The Unexpected Encounter. It was supposed to be an ordinary space expedition, yet nothing about the mission ever felt ordinary to Commander Ethan Hale. As the lead astronaut of the United Earth Coalition, Hale had seen more than his fair share of the wonders beyond Earth's atmosphere. Yet, as he floated in the vast silence of space, tethered to the exterior of the space station, something felt different. Beside him, working on critical repairs to the station's solar array, was Dr. Lily Sue, a brilliant astrophysicist with an unrelenting curiosity. Both of them were too engrossed in their task when a peculiar sound began to echo within their helmets. That it wasn't a sound they expected in space. A rhythmic tapping, almost like the hum of an ancient melody, filled their communication channel. Dr. Sue glanced at Commander Hale, her usually calm face hidden behind the visor, but her voice carried a hint of trepidation. "Do you hear that?" Hale, gripping the station's structure to stabilize himself, nodded. "I do. But that's impossible. Sound can't travel in space." Before either could ponder further, the control room back on Earth crackled with static, cutting through their communication devices. "Commander Hale, Dr. Sue, we are detecting an anomaly near your position," Mission Control stated, the voice of Lieutenant Grant steady but laced with concern. "It seems to be approaching." Hale's heartbeat quickened. He peered into the dark abyss beyond Earth's horizon. His gaze settled on a shape. At first, it was merely a dot against the backdrop of stars, but it quickly grew larger. Within moments, a ship unlike anything either of them had ever seen appeared. Sleek, smooth, and utterly alien in design, the vessel approached with grace and precision, its hull shimmering with an otherworldly blue light. "This can't be real," Dr. Sue whispered. The ship, larger than anything they had encountered before, hovered silently above them. Suddenly, the rhythmic sound they had heard earlier grew louder, and the air around them seemed to hum with energy. "We need to get back inside," Hale urged, pulling Dr. Sue toward the station's airlock. As they secured themselves inside and repressurized, the two astronauts watched through the observation window as the alien vessel docked with their station. The docking mechanism clanked into place, and for a brief moment, everything was still. Then, a soft hiss followed by a low vibration echoed through the station's metallic walls. A door opened, revealing a tall, humanoid figure. Its skin was a pale green, with large, almond-shaped eyes that seemed to glow with intelligence. The creature wore a suit, but unlike the bulky space gear worn by humans, this was sleek and seemed almost organic, moving fluidly with every gesture. Behind the figure, another alien appeared. This one, however, was a stark contrast. It resembled a human, though taller, with shimmering metallic skin. It stood with an air of authority, its eyes scanning the humans with curiosity. Commander Hale took a step forward, his breath shallow. He had trained for first contact scenarios, but nothing could have prepared him for this. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The green-skinned alien stepped forward, and, without moving its mouth, a voice echoed within their minds. "We are the Veldrians," it said. "We come in peace." Chapter 2, First Contact. As the silence in the station hung thick, Commander Hale and Dr. Sue exchanged a glance. Dr. Sue, ever the scientist, took a cautious step forward, eyes gleaming with curiosity. You can communicate telepathically?" The Veldrian nodded, its face devoid of the expressions humans were used to, yet its presence conveyed a sense of calm. "Our technology and biology have evolved to allow such communication. Words can be limiting." Commander Hale, still processing the gravity of the moment, took a breath. "Why are you here?" The second alien, the one with metallic skin, finally spoke, though not through telepathy. Its voice was deep and resonant, echoing off the metal walls of the station. "Your world has reached a pivotal moment. We have been observing, and now the time has come to establish an alliance. There are greater threats beyond your world than you realize." Hale's mind raced. An alliance? What kind of threats? But before he could ask, the alien continued. "Our galaxy is not as isolated as your people believe. There are forces at play, ancient civilizations and empires that seek to dominate or destroy those they consider weak. Earth, with its growing technology, has caught their attention. Dr. Sue interjected, "You mean, other extraterrestrial species have been watching us?" "For how long?" "For millennia," the Veldrian answered. "We have intervened before, subtly, guiding your species towards certain discoveries and advancements. But now, with your technological age accelerating, your planet is at risk of attracting unwanted attention." A sinking feeling settled in Hale's stomach. "So, you're here to help us? To protect Earth?" The metallic-skinned alien nodded. "In a way. But we are not saviors. We offer partnership. Your species has potential that could change the course of this galaxy's future. But you must be prepared to fight for it." Commander Hale could hardly believe what he was hearing. Earth, a small blue planet in a vast universe, was now at the center of a galactic conflict. It seemed impossible. Yet, here they were, standing face to face with beings from another world, hearing about dangers that they had never even imagined. Dr. Sue, her mind racing with the implications, asked, "What do you want from us in return?" "No alliance is formed without mutual benefit." The Veldrian's eyes shimmered. "In return, we ask for cooperation. We will teach you how to defend your planet, but you must also be willing to join us in the larger fight." "The larger fight?" Hale echoed, uncertainty creeping into his voice. "Against whom?" "Against the Dominion," the metallic-skinned alien said. "An ancient empire that spans multiple galaxies. They seek to conquer and assimilate any species they deem inferior. And they have taken an interest in Earth." The room fell silent again. The weight of their words pressed down on Hale. Earth's future was no longer just about diplomacy or technological advancement. It was about survival on a scale they had never imagined. Chapter 3, The Decision. Back on Earth, the United Earth Coalition was in a state of chaos. News of the alien encounter had leaked despite attempts to contain it. While many were fearful, others were intrigued. The scientific community buzzed with excitement at the prospect of learning from advanced alien civilizations, while world leaders grappled with the political and military implications of such an alliance. Commander Hale and Dr. Sue found themselves in the middle of intense negotiations. The aliens, who now identified themselves as part of a larger intergalactic council known as the Alliance of Free Systems, had made it clear that Earth's cooperation was essential. The Veldrians, representatives of this alliance, had proven themselves technologically superior. They shared snippets of their advanced knowledge, new energy sources, medical breakthroughs, and defensive capabilities that far surpassed anything humanity had ever known. But with this knowledge came responsibility. The alliance would not protect Earth passively. Humanity would need to fight alongside them. Hale stood before the coalition's board, facing a room filled with generals, diplomats, and scientists. "We can't afford to ignore this," he said, his voice resolute. "The Dominion is real, and they are coming. If we don't take the opportunity to learn from the Alliance, Earth will be left defenseless." One of the generals, a stern-faced man with graying hair, stood up. "And what guarantee do we have that these aliens are telling the truth? For all we know, this could be a ploy to weaken our defenses, to make us vulnerable." Dr. Sue stepped forward. "Their technology is far beyond anything we've ever seen. They have no need to deceive us. And based on what we've witnessed, their warnings are credible. This isn't about choosing sides in some petty interstellar squabble. This is about the survival of our planet." The room buzzed with murmurs. The leaders were divided. Some saw the potential of an alliance with advanced alien civilizations as an opportunity for unprecedented growth. Others feared the loss of autonomy, of becoming pawns in a war they barely understood. Hale clenched his fists. "We don't have time to debate this endlessly. The Dominion is already on their way. The Veldrians have offered us a chance to stand and fight. But we have to decide now." After hours of intense discussion, the coalition voted. The decision was made, Earth would join the alliance. Chapter 4, Preparation for War. Weeks turned into months as Earth mobilized for its first interstellar war. The alliance had shared blueprints for advanced spacecraft, weapons systems, and shield technologies. Factories across the globe worked around the clock, churning out new battle-ready vessels. Earth's militaries began rigorous training programs, learning how to operate the alien technology and preparing for combat in the cold vacuum of space. Commander Hale found himself thrust into the role of Earth's first fleet commander. He had always been a soldier, but never had he imagined leading a fleet beyond Earth's atmosphere. Now, he oversaw the construction of ships designed to defend not only the planet but humanity's future. Dr. Sue, on the other hand, was immersed in research. The knowledge the Alliance had shared was staggering, and every day, new breakthroughs were being made. She worked closely with the Veldrians, learning about the Dominion and the larger galactic community. Chapter 5, The first skirmish. 6 months after Earth's official entry into the Alliance, the first signs of the Dominion fleet appeared on the edges of the solar system. Long-range scanners detected their ships, moving slowly but deliberately towards Earth. Panic rippled through the population. Despite all the preparation, despite all the new technology, there was still an overwhelming sense of dread. Could Earth truly stand against a force so ancient and powerful? Commander Hale stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship, the Defiant, gazing out at the stars. His fleet of newly built starships, crewed by the best and brightest from every nation on Earth, orbited around the moon, ready to intercept the Dominion. The Veldrians had provided some initial support. 4 of their own ships, sleek and deadly, flanked the Defiant. The ships hummed with energy, their shields shimmering like a thin veil of light. Hale had never felt so small, and yet the weight of humanity's survival rested on his shoulders. "Commander," came the voice of Ensign Carter, his communications officer, "the Dominion fleet will be within range in less than 30 minutes. Hale nodded, his expression grim. He turned to the holographic display in front of him, where the incoming Dominion ships were represented as red blips. They were still far outnumbered, and despite the advanced technology Earth now possessed, they were untested in actual combat. "Prepare the fleet," Hale ordered. "All ships to battle stations. Engage defensive shields and ready weapons." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, but there was no denying the tension in the air. This was it, the moment that would determine the fate of Earth and its people. The Veldrian commander, a tall figure named Vorik, appeared on the screen. "Commander Hale," Vorik's voice echoed in Hale's mind through their telepathic communication, "the Dominion will not show mercy. They will seek to overwhelm your forces quickly. We must strike first and hard if we are to survive." Hale nodded. "Understood. We'll follow your lead." As the Dominion fleet approached, Hale could feel the anticipation building. The tension was palpable, but there was also a strange sense of calm. He had trained for this moment, and now it was time to prove that Earth could stand among the stars. Suddenly, the silence of space was broken as the first shots were fired. Bright streaks of energy shot from the Dominion ships, aimed directly at Earth's fleet. Hale's ship, the Defiant, rocked under the impact, but its shields held firm. "Return fire!" Hale shouted. The space around the two fleets erupted in flashes of light and explosions. Earth's ships, equipped with new energy weapons provided by the Alliance, retaliated with everything they had. The Veldrian ships moved with incredible speed and precision, cutting through the Dominion forces like blades through air. For a brief moment, it seemed as though they had the upper hand. Hale watched as Dominion ships exploded, their debris scattering into the void. But then, as if on cue, larger Dominion vessels appeared from hyperspace, dwarfing Earth's fleet. One of the massive ships opened fire, its energy blast tearing through one of Earth's smaller cruisers. Hale clenched his fists as the ship disintegrated, its crew lost in an instant. "They're too strong," Ensign Carter whispered. "No," Hale growled, his eyes blazing with determination. "We can win this." He turned to Vorik. "We need a way to disable their larger ships. We can't outgun them." Vorik's eyes narrowed. Their larger vessels rely on a central power core. If we can destabilize it, we could cripple their fleet. Hale nodded. Then that's what we'll do. Focus all firepower on their lead ship. Take out the core. The next few minutes were a blur of chaos and destruction. The Defiant charged forward, leading the assault on the Dominion's flagship. Every ship in Earth's fleet followed, bombarding the massive vessel with everything they had. The Dominion returned fire with brutal force, but Earth's fleet was relentless. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, a direct hit from the Defiant struck the Dominion's power core. There was a blinding flash of light, followed by an explosion that sent shockwaves rippling through space. The Dominion flagship was torn apart, its pieces scattering in all directions. The remaining Dominion ships, now leaderless and disorganized, began to retreat. The first skirmish was over, and Earth had won. Chapter 6: The Aftermath. The victory came at a cost. Several Earth ships had been lost, and the toll on the crews was heavy. Commander Hale stood in the aftermath, his heart heavy with the weight of the lives lost. The bridge of the Defiant was quiet, the adrenaline of battle slowly ebbing away, leaving behind a somber silence. "They'll be back," Hale muttered, his voice barely audible. Dr. Sue, who had joined him on the bridge for the final moments of the battle, placed a hand on his shoulder. "But so will we. We've shown them we're not as weak as they thought." The Veldrians had suffered minimal losses, their advanced ships proving their worth in battle. Vorik appeared once again on the bridge, his telepathic voice cutting through the silence. "You fought well, Commander. But this was only a taste of the battles to come." Hale nodded. "I know. And we'll be ready." As the fleet made its way back to Earth, the entire world celebrated the victory. News channels broadcast images of the Dominion's defeat, and for the first time in a long while, there was a sense of hope. Earth had faced an extraterrestrial threat and survived. But as Hale knew all too well, this was just the beginning. Chapter 7: The Council of the Alliance. Weeks passed, and Earth's leaders were summoned to a meeting with the full alliance of free systems. Commander Hale and Dr. Sue were among the representatives sent to the council, held on a distant planet known as Veltorin, a world teeming with life, its skies filled with shimmering auroras. The Alliance Council was composed of various species from across the galaxy, each one unique and diverse. Some were humanoid, while others were far more alien in appearance, with forms and features that defied human understanding. The council's leader, a being known as Shultir, floated above the floor, its translucent form pulsing with light. It spoke in a voice that resonated through the minds of all present. "Earth has proven itself in battle. But the war is far from over. The Dominion will not rest until they have conquered or destroyed your world." "We understand the threat," Hale said, his voice steady. "But we're ready to stand with the Alliance. Earth will fight for its survival, and for the survival of the galaxy." Shultir's glowing eyes focused on Hale. "You speak with conviction, human. But know this, the Dominion is not like any enemy you have faced. They are ancient, and their resolve is unyielding. The battles ahead will test not only your strength but your spirit." Dr. Sue, always the diplomat, stepped forward. "We're willing to learn, to grow. The Alliance has given us the tools to defend ourselves, but we still have much to understand. We need your guidance." The council murmured among themselves, their telepathic conversations unreadable to the humans. Finally, Shultir nodded. "Very well. The Alliance will continue to support Earth. But remember, this is not just about your survival. The fate of many worlds rests on the outcome of this war." Chapter 8: The Rise of the Resistance. Back on Earth, preparations continued at a breakneck pace. Factories churned out new warships, and Earth's best pilots and soldiers underwent rigorous training. But the Dominion's looming return was a constant shadow over the planet. Despite their victory, Earth remained vulnerable. Commander Hale found himself at the center of Earth's growing military force. The alliance with the Veldrians had strengthened, and Earth's technology was advancing faster than ever. But there was still a lingering question in Hale's mind: could they truly defeat an empire as vast and powerful as the Dominion? One night, as Hale stood on the observation deck of the United Earth Coalition's command center, watching the stars, Dr. Sue approached him. "You're troubled," she said. Hale sighed. "It's hard not to be. We won a battle, but the war is just beginning. I wonder if we're really prepared for what's coming." Dr. Sue stood beside him, her eyes also fixed on the stars. "We've come this far. We've already accomplished things no one thought possible. And we have allies. We're not alone in this." Hale nodded, but the weight of responsibility still pressed down on him. He knew that as the leader of Earth's forces, he had to project confidence. But deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were still outmatched. Chapter 9, the final battle. Months later, the Dominion returned in force. Their fleet was larger, more powerful, and more determined than before. This time, they didn't just want to conquer Earth, they wanted to destroy it. The skies above Earth filled with ships as the final battle for humanity's survival began. Earth's fleet, now bolstered by the full might of the Alliance, met the Dominion head-on in a battle that stretched across the solar system. Commander Hale, aboard the Defiant, led the charge. His voice echoed through the communication channels as he coordinated the battle. "Stay strong, everyone. This is it. We hold the line, or we lose everything." The battle was fierce and unforgiving. Ships exploded in bursts of light, and the very fabric of space seemed to tremble under the weight of the conflict. But through it all, Earth's forces held firm. The Veldrians fought alongside them, their ships weaving in and out of the Dominion's formations with deadly precision. And then, in the heat of the battle, a breakthrough came. Dr. Sue had discovered a weakness in the Dominion's command structure. If they could take out the central command ship, the Dominion's forces would be thrown into disarray. Hale seized the opportunity. He led the Defiant and a squadron of Earth's best pilots in a daring assault on the Dominion's command ship. The ship was heavily defended, but Hale's determination was unshakable. With the help of the Alliance, they broke through the Dominion's defenses. The Defiant fired its weapons, and the Dominion command ship was destroyed in a massive explosion that lit up the stars. The remaining Dominion ships, leaderless and confused, began to retreat. Earth had won the war. Epilogue: a new dawn. In the aftermath of the war, Earth emerged stronger than ever. The people of Earth had proven themselves on the galactic stage, and the Alliance welcomed them as full members. Commander Hale became a hero, his name forever etched in history as the man who led Earth to victory. Dr. Sue continued her work, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and forging new partnerships with the galaxy's many species, but the greatest victory of all was the unity that had been forged. The people of Earth, once divided by nations and borders, had come together as one planet, one people, to face a threat that could have ended them all. And as the stars stretched out before them, they knew that their journey was just beginning. The galaxy was vast, and there were still many challenges ahead. But for the first time in history, humanity was ready to face them, together.